Hey everyone, this is Dr. Drizzle, and today we're in Hickory, North Carolina with Tom Jabby Brock, who is a professional woodcrafter and actually part of my family. So we are excited to learn more about woodcrafting and tools, and I know our kids want to know about this because this is part of our tiny house camp. So thank you, Tom, for letting us come down here today.
You're welcome.
You have a beautiful shop, and this is just in your house. Like, you worked in a bigger shop before, but tell us how you got into loving woodwork.
Well, I guess it started when I was born. My father was a cabinet maker, and he had a shop, and I spent a lot of time around the shop. And as I got older and got into high school and all, then I began to work in the shop. And from there, I was exposed to a lot of things to do with home building, so I decided, well, I wanted to be an architect. So I went to NC State to go to architecture school, and when I got there, there was just so many openings as a freshman, and so I had to get in line for when an opening turned up, and so they put me in civil engineering. And as part of the engineering school, you had to go through an introduction, and whether you'd go to a talk about electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, industrial engineering, and so forth. And because North Carolina was so big in furniture, they had a program in the industrial engineering department called Furniture Manufacturing and Management. And I saw that, and that really got me interested in that, and so I got into the furniture manufacturing program, and that's what I got me to, well. And I actually changed from furniture manufacturing and management to wood science and technology, which encompass more than furniture manufacturing. It include plywood, veneer, all types of woodworking stuff. So I actually got my degree in wood science and technology.
So you grew up around wood and home building and then went for a particular degree at NC State, but because of a little class that was too full, it led you into this.
That's right.
Which has been your lot. So how long have you been doing this, and what did you do? Like, where did you work?
Well, I mean, since I graduated from college, that's been about 50 years now. And originally I worked in the furniture industry. I worked a couple of years for Broyhill, and then eventually I moved to Hendersonville and worked for Steelcase, which is the largest furniture manufacturer in the world. But they had just opened up a wood office furniture plant. Mostly what they had done was steel. And so they just opened up a wood manufacturing plant, and so I was the original engineer in the woodworking plant there in Hendersonville.
And so in that job, you made what type of furniture?
Well, we made desks and credenzas and wall hanging units and just all kind of furniture. We didn't do any upholstery, but I mean any kind of case goods we did in that plant. And
so you stayed there for?
Stayed there for 20 years. And then went to work for Bernhardt Furniture, and they had an office furniture plant. Worked there for a few years, and then I decided to open my own cabinet shop. And then I had a cabinet shop for about 10 years till I retired.
And that's still in Hickory, right?
Yes.
All of this has been in Hickory?
Yes.
So what's been your favorite part of the woodworking world?
Oh, well, I don't know if there was ever a favorite. I enjoyed every bit of it, but I guess, you know, really when I was on my own at the end there with the cabinet shop was probably the best, because there I got to deal with the end customer as well as the people that worked in the shop and the vendors, and also I got to work with everybody.
Well, I noticed down here in your home wood shop that you're still building stuff.
Yes, I still do it as a hobby. I do it for friends, do a good bit of work for the church, and then my two daughters, I build stuff for them occasionally. So that's basically it. Don't do it really for profit, just do it just to keep entertained.
And I bet those granddaughters too are gonna.
Yeah.
I bet there's an outdoor playhouse in their future somewhere. Emery and Ansley, I'm working on that for you.
Okay.
So in this place, you have lots of tools.
Mm-hmm.
So can you just tell me about a few of them?
Okay, well, this is a table saw, and this is for cutting larger pieces of wood, like a piece of plywood or something that's larger than that. Back behind us over there, I think we took a picture a while ago. It's a miter saw. That's for cutting things to length. And then a band saw. That's for cutting curves, going around curves. Then we have a joiner. That's for if you're working with solid wood and you cut it on the, or if you want to straighten it, you run it through the joiner there to get the curves out of it and get it straight. Then you cut it straight on the table saw, and then if you want to smooth up the edge, you can go back over the saw marks, and it'll take the saw marks out.
So those are all things that we would do when we're cutting the material. What about joining? What do you have for joining things together? What tools would you use?
Well, mostly, I don't know if you can see it back there, but I mean, we got a bunch of clamps, and we use glue and dowels. We bored a hole a while ago and bore holes for dowels. Together with the dowels, and then put the clamp on it to hold it together.
And then finishing. What do you use for finishing? Finishing,
I have, well, like when I had the shop and in the furniture industry, we had big booths that we put the furniture in and would spray it, and it would take off the exhaust from it. But I don't have that here. And so here I've got a pot that I put the finishing material in. I spray it, but I mean I do it outside and spray it.
Do you also have sanders?
I have some sanders. Now I don't have any real big sanders here, but I got some little handheld sanders that you can move around. And the edges, there's another machine over there that will do the edge of something.
So if kids were working on this at home, they could also use sandpaper, right?
Yeah.
If they wanted to smooth off the sides.
This is a sanding block that we got sandpaper on.
So you actually just built that, right?
Yeah,
that's just a tool you built to get.
Right.
All right, so kids, look at that, because that's going to help you keep up your momentum in sanding. The paper sometimes will tear, so
right.
You just built a sand block here. So if you had any advice for kids on going into the trades, going into this type of industry, what would you tell them?
I guess that would depend on what their goals are. I mean, if they were wanting to work in the manual part of it, you'd go to a technical school somewhere to get an education for that. If you were going to get into management, then you'd probably need to go to a university and get a business or management degree.
And you suggest NC State, right?
NC State's the best.
And that's okay. We like them too. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tom. We're going to play around in your shop a little bit, but thank you for talking to the kids. So,
all right.
Tom Brock, woodworker, great job, still doing it. How many years later?
50.
50 years later, and still enjoying it and doing great stuff. Thanks.